Azure Storage, questions and answers. Question: what types of data does Azure Blob Storage typically handle? Answer: Azure Blob Storage is primarily designed for storing unstructured data such as text, images, videos, and large data sets. Question: what are the different types of blobs in Azure? Answer: Azure supports 3 types of blobs: block blobs for text and binary files, append blobs for log data, and page blobs for frequent read/write operations. Question: how does Azure File Storage differ from blob storage? Answer: Azure File Storage provides fully managed file shares in the cloud accessible via SMB protocol, whereas blob storage is more suited for unstructured data. Question: can Azure File Storage be mounted on multiple VMs simultaneously? Answer: yes. Azure File Storage supports multi-mounting across various virtual machines. Question: is Azure Table Storage suitable for relational databases? Answer: no. Azure Table Storage is a NoSQL data store for semi-structured data, and it is not suitable for complex queries or relational databases. Question: can you partition data in Azure Table Storage? Answer: yes. Data in Azure Table Storage can be partitioned using a partition key. Question: what is the main purpose of Azure Queue Storage? Answer: Azure Queue Storage is used to store and manage messages that may be accessed by a client. Question: how many messages can an Azure queue hold? Answer: an individual queue in Azure Queue Storage can contain millions of messages, subject to the storage account limit of 500 terabytes. Question: what are the types of Azure Disk Storage? Answer: Azure Disk Storage offers 4 types: Standard HDD, Standard SSD, Premium SSD, and Ultra Disk. Question: is Azure Disk Storage suitable for high I/O workloads? Answer: yes, especially the Premium SSD and Ultra Disk types are designed for high I/O workloads. Question: what is the main advantage of Azure Data Lake Storage? Answer: Azure Data Lake Storage provides high-speed and secure data analytics. Question: what are the 2 versions of Azure Data Lake Storage? Answer: Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 1 and Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Question: how can you secure data in Azure Storage? Answer: data in Azure Storage can be secured using Azure Active Directory, access keys, or shared access signatures, SAS. Question: can you set data retention policies in Azure Storage? Answer: yes. Azure Storage supports immutable storage with retention policies. Question: what is the difference between LRS and GRS in Azure Storage? Answer: LRS, locally redundant storage, replicates data 3 times in a storage scale unit. GRS, geo-redundant storage, is LRS combined with additional asynchronous replication to a secondary region. Question: can you assign roles at the storage account level in Azure? Answer: yes. Role-based access can be configured at the storage account level using Azure SIAM. Question: what is back in the context of Azure Storage? Answer: back, role-based access control, is a system that provides fine-grained access management of resources in Azure. Question: what tools are available for data migration to Azure Storage? Answer: Azure Storage supports several data migration options like Azure Storage Migration Service, Azure Data Box, and AzCopy among others. Question: can you migrate data from AWS S3 to Azure Blob Storage? Answer: yes. Tools like AzCopy and Azure Storage Migration Service can be used for this purpose. Question: how can you trigger events based on changes in Azure Storage? Answer: Azure Event Grid can be used to trigger events based on changes in Azure Storage. Question: is it possible to integrate Azure Storage with Azure Functions via events? Answer: yes. Azure Functions can be triggered based on events in Azure Storage like blob creation or deletion. Question: what is Azure Storage Explorer? Answer: Azure Storage Explorer is a standalone app that enables you to easily manage Azure storage data. Question: can you edit metadata of Azure storage assets via Storage Explorer? Answer: yes. Azure Storage Explorer allows you to edit metadata, among other tasks. Question: what is Azure Storage Mover? Answer: Azure Storage Mover is a feature that allows you to move data between different types of Azure storage. Question: can Azure Storage Mover move data between different Azure subscriptions? Answer: yes. Azure Storage Mover supports cross-subscription data moves. Question: what is a container in Azure Blob Storage? Answer: a container in Azure Blob Storage acts as a folder-like structure that houses blobs. It's a way to organize and manage blobs. Question: can you set metadata at the container level? Answer: yes. Metadata can be set at both the container and blob levels. Question: can Azure storage accounts be accessed over a private endpoint? Answer: yes. Azure Private Endpoint allows for secure and private access to Azure storage accounts. Question: what is the purpose of Azure CDN integration with Azure Blob Storage? Answer: Azure CDN integration with Blob Storage allows for the efficient distribution and caching of blob content closer to the user's location. Question: what is Azure Front Door and how does it relate to Azure Storage? Answer: Azure Front Door is a scalable and secure entry point for fast delivery of your global applications. It can be integrated with Azure Blob Storage to optimize asset delivery. Question: can Azure CDN cache objects from Azure File Storage? Answer: no. Azure CDN is generally used for caching objects from Azure Blob Storage, not Azure File Storage. Question: what are storage account access keys? Answer: storage account access keys are used to authenticate and gain access to an Azure storage account. Question: how many access keys does each Azure storage account have? Answer: each Azure storage account has 2 keys, Key 1 and Key 2, allowing you to maintain uninterrupted services while rotating keys. Question: what is a shared access signature, SAS, in Azure Storage? Answer: a shared access signature, SAS, is a URI that allows for restricted access to Azure storage resources for a specified time period. Question: can you create a SAS for a specific blob? Answer: yes. A SAS can be generated for specific blobs, containers, and even file shares. Question: is data at rest encrypted in Azure Storage? Answer: yes. Azure Storage offers automatic encryption at rest using Azure Storage Service Encryption, SSE. Question: can you bring your own key for encryption in Azure Storage? Answer: yes. Azure Storage supports customer-managed keys for additional security. Question: how does Microsoft Defender for Cloud enhance Azure storage security? Answer: Microsoft Defender for Cloud provides advanced threat protection and security features, including the monitoring of suspicious activities in Azure storage accounts. Question: is Microsoft Defender for Cloud automatically enabled for Azure storage? Answer: no, it is an optional service that needs to be enabled separately. Question: how can you back up data in Azure File Storage? Answer: Azure Backup offers native support for Azure File Storage, allowing for scheduled and on-demand backups. Question: does Azure Storage offer versioning for blobs? Answer: yes. Azure Blob Storage supports versioning, enabling you to keep previous states of a blob. Question: what is object replication in Azure Blob Storage? Answer: object replication allows you to replicate blobs from a source container to a destination container, either within the same region or across different regions. Question: can you replicate objects from blob storage to file storage? Answer: No. Object replication is generally only available between similar types of Azure storage, such as blob to blob. Question: what is blob inventory in Azure Blob Storage? Answer: blob inventory provides a manifest of blobs within a storage account, allowing for easier management and auditing. Question: how often is blob inventory updated? Answer: blob inventory can be scheduled to run on a daily or weekly basis. Question: can you host a static website using Azure Blob Storage? Answer: yes. Azure Blob Storage offers native support for hosting static websites, providing a cost-effective solution. Question: do you need to enable Azure CDN to host a static website on Azure Blob Storage? Answer: no. Azure CDN is optional, although it can enhance performance. Question: what is Azure Blob Storage Lifecycle Management? Answer: Azure Blob Storage Lifecycle Management allows you to automate the transitioning of blobs to cooler storage tiers or even delete them at the end of their lifecycle. Question: can you set lifecycle policies on Azure File Storage? Answer: as of my last update in September 2021, Azure File Storage does not natively support lifecycle management policies. Question: how does Azure Search integrate with Azure Blob Storage? Answer: Azure Search can index content from Azure Blob Storage to make it searchable, thus improving data discoverability. Thanks for watching.